They're picking a pretty tough customer to go against offense. Fellows have beaten them already one time this year and has a 4-3 record against them since coming over to the American League. Out on the mound for the Angels, Don Sutton.
But he's kind of turned his year around. He got off to a little bit of a struggling kind of start. He was looking for his 300th career win sometime this summer. Of course, that's gotten under his belt now. At one time, he was running along about a 6-1 mark. As a matter of fact, his last 8 starts saw him work to that. But the last couple of starts for him, out of those 8 starts, have been losses for him. Has not been really sharp. Both these pitchers today will have to work to a small part of that plate. They cannot rear back and play kind of hard baseball that either one of them once could do that. So they're kind of tricksters a little bit more so now than the most part of their career that got them those 300 wins. Sutton on this year, an 8-7 mark, a 4.63 earned run average. This will be start number 20 for Sutton. So one thing that is impressive about he and Seaver, although Seaver spent some time on the disabled list, both these guys, even at their age and their many years of experience, still receiving that ball in that locker and going to the mound and making those starts. That is something in itself right there. 113 hits given up for Sutton on 116 and 2/3 inning, walking 24 and striking out 74. So they're still conscious of what makes them winners. They get that ball over the plate.
Last time out was a loss. He lost 6-2 to the Milwaukee Brewers here last Tuesday. Went 7 innings and gave up 7 hits and 4 runs, all earned. Last win was against the Brewers. That was on July the 9th. He beat them in Milwaukee 6-1. Against Boston, 1-0 this year and 4-3 lifetime. Only appearance this year was May 12th at Anaheim Stadium, and he beat the Red Sox 7-1. Went 7 innings and gave up 5 hits and the 1 run. He is a gamer. He will come out and start. 692 major league starts now. And he has passed already, currently in sole possession of the number 2 position in games started. There's a ball to Marty Barrett. We are underway.
Talking about a record that's safe. That one that he is chasing, he can forget about.
That's right. Cy Young, 818.
They think DiMaggio's record of hitting safely in all those games is safe. Try that other one.
Marty pops it up. Right side, Wally Joyner in. And Barrett, who is hitting 289, is out. 1 away for the Red Sox.
Batting second, number 26.
Had a Rich Gedman homer yesterday, and that was the offense. After getting 8 runs for Roger Clemens the night before. Mike Witt pitched a fine game against them yesterday. And actually, I didn't think Bruce Hurst looked that bad, Monty, until he got in that 1-inning trouble. The first 3 innings, he looked reasonably sharp.
Just that 1 inning, the 2 round trippers, costly. Of course, when you're facing a guy like Mike Witt, you know Mike is not going to give you an awful lot one way or the other, and that proved to be even more so yesterday.
Wade Boggs takes a ball high.
I have to say that neither club got an awful lot of breaks in that ball game yesterday. Some unbelievable things happening in that game.
Well, the Red Sox hit into 4 double plays, and they'll remember one of them. The pop-up to Gary Pettis that was dropped. That took him right out of what could have been a profitable inning. Boggs looks high and inside for ball 2, 2-1. Wade hitting .355, 5 home runs, 45 batted in. He's trying to pick himself up a little bit. 3 hits in his last 17 times at bat. Strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I had a chance to talk with Gene Mauch today for a while before the game started. They really want to make Boggs pull the ball. He says, I know he can hit a curveball. You don't hit .350 without being able to hit a curveball.
Pulls this one to Joyner. To Sutton covering. 2 outs.
But he says, what I want him to do is come out of his thing. He said, I'm getting tired of watching an inside-out swing and watch him repeatedly get base hits, base hits, base hits, base hits. He said, if we can make him pull the ball, we feel like we get him to come out of his little thing. It's like he did there. He doesn't put the ball in play as much in the air when he pulls it. He hits it on the ground usually. And you've seen what happened in this series yesterday. He went to that side 4 times. They got him. Already today he's there.
Right. Here's Bill Buckner hitting .250. 10 home runs, 55 batted in. Dodger against ex-Dodger here.
Had some high words of praise for Bill Buckner, did Gene Mauch. Talking about the very thing, of course, that we have a chance to watch on a regular basis. The fact that he is a quality pitch hitter, as Gene referred to it.
He can get his bat on the ball on the good pitches and get hits out of it. He had a double yesterday, and he's had 5 doubles in his last 7 games, as a matter of fact.
Speaking of quality pitches, that man there has made a few in his life. You have to give a little credit, of course, to hitters sometimes, but Sutton will deserve all the credit he ever gets.
Buckner pops it up into foul ground. Joyner coming. Sutton coming. There's Boone, and nobody gets it. Long run for everybody, and even Don Sutton himself was coming in from the mound on that one.
Sutton coming over maybe to add a little help to direct Boone. It looked like this ball hit right on top of that railing. Right in the photographer's dugout. Well, in the old days, the rest of those players standing around there, Nipper, Stapleton, they'd have just taken Boone, pulled him on over in there. They wouldn't have helped him back up.
The ball hit off the railing, and so did Boone.
Once they got him in there, they just all sit on him. Wouldn't let him come out.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
They've been yelling, you got a lot of room. Come on.
Yeah, that's it. Plenty of room. Crash. Buckner looks outside, and it's a ball 2, strike 2 count. 2 outs in the top of the first. Buckner reaching for the outside pitch and fouling it. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Bill.
Oh, if we can get a quick shot of it real quick, Tommy Tedesco's working for the control force today. Way up in the left center field, high in the upper deck. They've opened up another portion there. They're still letting people come in this ballpark. There they are. That's an area that was not sold here on Friday night when there was 50,000 here.
Buckner, fair ball. Past Joyner down into right field. Breaking against the railing. Buckner going for 2, and he's got another double. This time he doesn't have to slide. Crack one just inside that first base bag.
Talking about quality pitching, we didn't anymore get it out of our mouth, and here comes Buckner on a quality pitch. Certainly down, almost out of the strike zone. And just when you think Buckner would have trouble recording the doubles, he's out of that lineup for a couple of days. In that series in Seattle, he's come right back now. In the last 8 games, he's gotten 6 doubles. So he's having to definitely hit doubles. He's not making doubles, he's just hitting them.
That's his 25th double of the year. And he's now in 6th place in 2 base hits in the American League. Jim Rice will try to pick him up out there. Rice in left field hitting .330, 9 home runs, 61 batted in. And a strike on the breaking pitch. Outside for a ball to Rice. Well, this ballpark holds now 64,573 capacity. And they're going to be a couple thousand more than we had Friday night when there were 51,000. They had expected the big crowd today. Rice peels it foul, first base way. Joyner over. That ball's going into the seats. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Rice.
Well, there's a lot more reason for people to be coming to this ballpark other than just the Seaver-Sutton matchup. Players like a Jim Rice, a Reggie Jackson, a Wade Boggs, Joyner. Put that together with the fact that these clubs leading their respective divisions. Oh, that's and a perfect day. I don't know what more you could ask for.
And who knows, maybe a preview. Who knows? In October. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Is 333 feet down each line here. 362 farther out past the bullpens. 370 to right and left. 386 to the deep alleys, and 404 feet to straightaway center field. Tapped off the end of the bat. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
There's something talking to that man almost any time you want to sit down and open your thoughts up or your ears up to listen.
A lot of baseball smarts and
great recall.
Yep. Rice again fouling it out of play. There's the 300 mark.
Oh, that's a great likeness, isn't it? That picture done, how that right arm is straight down behind Sutton's back. That is his windup. Doesn't worry about trying to hide the ball too much, particularly from the batter once it's behind him. Although the way Sutton turns his back, the hitter probably couldn't pick up the grip.
That right arm from a photograph.
Could have been.
A little bit high to Rice. So Rice giving a pretty that tough at bat with some foul balls on some pretty good pitches, and it's 2-2.
Well, there's something about that number 300. I guess it's all the curves in the 3s and the 2 zeros that make it so attractive.
Does
in
make
a lot of ways.
Do make it attractive, all right.
Certainly for hitters.
Inside ball 3, and now a 3-2 count. And Rice fouls this one back with a good cut. Count hangs that way at 3-2 to Jim Rice with 2 out in the first inning. No score. Buckner running at second base. Red Sox caught a bad break in that double play we were talking about when Pettis dropped the 5 ball, and Rice did not go to second base immediately as he should have, and Buckner went back to tag on the thing and had no chance. It is Gary Pettis backtracking and has it for the out. So 1 hit and 1.
The Angels or their opponents, our fans are expected to consider their neighbors and make their language fit for the ears of those around them. Abusive language is unwelcome at Anaheim Stadium. Music is somewhat code of decency will be ejected from the stadium. We thank you for your cooperation and enjoy your stay at the big game.
Bottom of the first inning at Anaheim Stadium, and out on the mound, Mr. Tom Seaver.
Well, the other half of this matchup today, we'll have a look at his numbers. Start number 6 since joining the Red Sox, and he's worked to an even record, 2 wins and 2 losses for Boston, a 3.51 earned run average. And he, like we mentioned, like Sutton, very conscious of getting that ball over the plate. For the Red Sox, he's walked just 8, striking out 18. Overall, Seaver has walked with 35 on the year. And mentioning the number of starts for both these pitchers, course, when you wind up with 300 wins anywhere along in your career, no matter how many years it takes, you had to run to that mound an awful lot of times. And to my knowledge, this year, earlier in this year, with a stiff shoulder, was the only time that Seaver has been on a disabled list. I'm not positive about that one way or the other. I know he did have some arm troubles in 1982 with Cincinnati. Could or could not have been on the disabled list that particular year. I'm not sure one way or the other. But just think of the longevity of these pitchers. First of all, to have gotten to the point to play enough years to record 300 wins, let alone get them.
And keep in the rotation. Here's Rupert Jones. Right fielder, hitting .246, 11 home runs, 37 batted in. Seaver is 0-1 on this road trip and has not pitched badly. Last time out, he lost 4-2 to Oakland. Inside to Jones, ball 1. That was last Tuesday. Went 6 2/3 innings and gave up 6 hits and 4 runs. No decision in the game against Seattle on the 17th. He left with a 1-1 tie, but the Red Sox eventually lost in 10 innings. They have not been getting that many runs for him. 3 in his last 2 starts. A strike to Jones, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. A win today for Seaver could put him ahead of Old Hoss.
Our friend.
That's right. Old Hoss, Radburn, and Seaver each with 308 career wins. And a strike to Jones. He'll be chasing next Gaylord Perry, who has won 314.
And your buddy won a game yesterday to give him 319. Old left-hander.
Well, that's right. He's been last couple of times out, been pitching better for the Giants. Steve Carlton. It's a 1-2 count to Rupert. Well, in one of those games, the one we saw on television in Oakland, he can't help him pitching. He can with his bat sometimes. He hit a 3-run homer in that game. Jones down the first base, fair ball. Just about the same place as Buckner's. Dug out by Evans. Fires him too late. Double. Carbon copy of Buckner's double just inside the bag at first. Rupert Jones on.
Boy, he's been running in a cold snap, and I mean a cold snap, almost 0. He is now 2 for his last 12 at-bats since he hit that couple home runs against the Toronto Blue Jays here on a nationally televised game last weekend. He has had tough time finding some base hits, but not with that one. It's a tough play by Evans to get that ball back in, but Jones can still run a little bit, gets the 2-bagger.
Wally Joyner goes the opposite way, foul. Strike 1. Joyner, the first baseman, batting .314, 21 homers, 74 runs batted in his rookie year. And he has been hot lately. 11 hits in his last 22 times at bat with runners in scoring position. He's got one out there now. Bluffs the butt, takes outside. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fly ball, right field, not deep. Evans over. 1 out. So they get rid of a tough one in Wally Joyner.
Number 11.
And next face, Doug DeCinces.
Doug DeCinces.
Had a home run in yesterday's game, which was his first one since the 23rd of June. A long time between drinks for Duggar on that. Jones at second base, 1 down. Left side to Boggs. 2 down. Jones has to hold. So Seaver bucks up and gets the next 2, Joyner and DeCinces, and now will face Reggie Jackson.
Certainly has been easy for Seaver near the first innings he's had lately. Certainly that game in Seattle, he learned a little bit of something about pitching out of trouble in the very first inning if he didn't already know. That's as fine a pitching job as you'll want to see anybody handle in the first inning of a ball game against the Mariners. And then a couple of innings for him in trouble at
all the
Oakland.
time. Well, he
Yes.
was in trouble most of the time in Seattle, but only allowed 1 run. The same way in Oakland, but as you've said before, Marty, the red flag is waved to the bull when the men got on base against Seaver. Now he faces a guy who's taken him deep twice this year, Reggie Jackson. Hitting .267, 9 home runs, and 33 runs batted in. Ball 1. Fine matchup here of guys who could meet someday on the steps of Cooperstown.
Well, it wouldn't be a bad combination, man. Of course, you're not looking forward to either one of them retiring, but I don't know what it would take for both of them to get in at the same time, but wouldn't that be something?
It sure would.
Think about it. With first base open here, I think Seaver will win this match, though.
Nothing too good for Reginald.
You bet.
3 balls and no strikes. The on-deck hitter is Brian Downing. Tough on Boston, but a right-handed hitter. And a chance for play at any base if they walk Reggie, which they do. Pitching around him, as they call it. Jackson is on. Jones is at second, and Downing the batter. Brian Downing, left fielder, .273, 11 home runs and 52 batted in. He has gone into a bad stretch lately, though. Along with the rest of this club, this Angel club has not been hitting either. 2 hits in his last 21 times at bat with runners in scoring position, and struggling right now through a 3 hits and 26 time at bat stretch. Ball 1. Downing, though. Strike on the inside slice. Downing has hit .389 against Boston this year. 14 hits and 36 times up with a home run. Knocked in 4. A ball. Nope, a foul tip. It tipped his bat foul for strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, it's a little unusual that you see the inside chest protector worn by an umpire. Of course, they all wear it now. That he would go to the outside part of the plate, but apparently McClellan could not see over Gedman's left shoulder.
Down to Boggs. Over to Barrett, and Seaver gets out of it. The opening double does no harm, and after 1 inning of play, there's no score.
Hey, nice going, Tommy. Oh, you had all that stuff, man. You had them people coming into the seats up there. You had all of it. That place is full up there now.
I got a bunch of them up there. Freeways will be pretty well jammed by this afternoon.
The following Saturday, August 16th, is portable radio night with the first 15,000 adults
Here, this game, beaches, everything.
compliments of KMPC. There's still plenty of good tickets remaining for all games on the stand, and they're on sale now at the advance windows. Thank you.
Negro 7 and 9.
7 and 9, so he's 307.
He didn't pitch yesterday or anything, did he? Negro didn't pitch yesterday or anything, did he?
No, he didn't pitch yesterday. He's not due today either. Can't be honest.
No, he didn't pitch Saturday.
Top of the 2nd inning. 0-0. And Don Baylor, Dwight Evans, and Tony Armas will be at bat against Don Sutton.
The designated hitter, Don Baylor.
Baylor at .245, 17 home runs, 61 runs driven in. rifles the foul deep to left. Strike one to Baylor. Sutton is riding a 3-game winning streak against the Red Sox, including his win this year at 7-1 game. 1 ball, 1 strike to Baylor. And he is crowded for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pop foul coming back out of play. Don Sutton's first major league win was in 1966 against Robin Roberts. Could not have been Robin Roberts. No. Dave Roberts.
A little left-handed guy. We're not a little
left-handed. Houston?
Guy. Yeah, Houston.
Because Roberts was pitching in the mid-60s, but he was in the American League then. He was with Yankees and Baltimore for a while. Baylor fouls it back. 2-2. That was 18th of April against Houston in 1966. He won it 6-3. His 100th game was on the 22nd of September. Baylor strikes out. So they fool around inside, outside, and up and down, and finally strike Baylor out. The first strikeout for Sutton.
Batting six, number 24.
Well, we definitely see Baylor do something here he just doesn't do. You may get him to chase the ball out of the strike zone down or weigh in on him, but rarely do you see him trying to get to that pitch up there. Says a little something for Sutton's ability to move that ball around and give you a little deception.
Well, here's Dwight Evans, who has taken the team lead in runs batted in with 63, 13 homers, and a .259 mark. Talking about his 100th win, Sutton's 100th win was against the Giants in '72, and Jim Willoughby was a loser. Well, that brings back a name and a year.
I'll tell you another guy he beat. I don't know exactly what the milestone was. I was looking through that press guide. He beat Alan Ripley for one of his milestones.
That was against the Giants too, wasn't it?
I think that was with the Cubs.
Was it when he went from Boston before? He had been with the Giants, I know. 2 balls, 1 strike.
I'm not even sure what number that was for him. It was something like in the middle.
It's a 2-1 count to Evans. 1 out in the second inning of a scoreless game. And these first couple of innings have been long affairs for nothing much going on. A couple of doubles here and there. Evans takes the breaking pitch for a ball. 3-1 to Dwight.
It was his career win number 250 when he beat Ripley against the Cubs. Beat him 5-1 at Dodger Stadium.
Here's a base hit slammed into left field. Dwight Evans on the 3-1 count. Singles sharply to left with 1 out.
Red Sox have not had a lot of offense working, as we've mentioned a couple of times in this road trip. Dwight Evans, the only Red Sox hitter to have his average on this trip over the 300 mark. As a team, they've hit just a bit over 230, somewhere around 234. Evans now has collected, that's his 12th hit on this road team. Barrett and Boggs also have 10, but they're at bats a little bit more than Dwight's. Boggs near the 300 mark. He was something like 294.
Tony Armas back in action after the 15-day disabled list because of the thigh muscle, the pull, and playing center field and batting in the number 7 spot today. Tony at 275 with 4 home runs, 19 batted in. Michelle Tarver sent back to Pawtucket. The foul back. Some more people coming in.
That was one little section they'd held in reserve for some reason up there.
The IPs.
Well, I doubt that.
They're going to fill that up now. They'll have close to 60,000 here, I would imagine.
Well, they ought to have. If they don't.
Sometimes out here you wonder if they know the Angels are here. Sometimes they've had good ball clubs too. Tony hits one high toward left field, but not deep enough to get out of the ballpark. Brian Downing, shielding his eyes, makes the grab. So Armas flies to left. Evans back to first. There are 2 away.
Batting eighth, number 10, the catcher, Rich Gedman.
Rich Gedman has had the homer swing in this series, 2 in 2 games. 8 home runs all year and 39 runs batted in for that 268 mark. Put the Red Sox ahead briefly yesterday with his home run. They pitch out. Evans has to dive back a little bit. He had bluffed the run to second base and then started moving slowly back to first, and all of a sudden Boone's throw was there to join her.
I think Booney was saying, I've already had this pitch out to see if I can get something out of it at least. I think that's the last thing Evans was expecting there, was that snap throw. Here's the pitch out, so Booney, I don't want to waste it.
No, try it. Gedman with a high pop-up down the left field line, chased by DeCinces and foul ground for the catch. Tough sun today. That's all for the Red Sox in the second, and we move to the bottom of the inning. No score.
Yeah. Tommy, can you get a little closer to that microphone when you talk to us? I couldn't hear what you said. I could hear you saying something. Well, yeah, but not as well as I'd like to.
Before it was earlier, but of course the crowd drowns you out some. I didn't know what you were doing that there.
Okay. We'll get the one on the right up a little bit. The fence doesn't meet. Take a little of each, honey. The Red Sox will be returning to Fenway on August 1st to begin a 3-game weekend series with the Kansas City Royals, then a 3-game series with the Chicago White Sox. During the month of August, the Red Sox will also be playing host to some Eastern Division rivals. They'll be the Tigers and the Cleveland Indians. Tickets for most remaining Red Sox home games are on sale in the Red Sox ticket office at Fenway, or by calling the Red Sox ticket office at 267-1700. You can charge your tickets to any major credit card. A little comparison, even though these fellows do not say that this is the way to do it. A little more leg drive, a little lower into the pitching position. You see Seaver on the left. You'll see a little more of a stand-up type pitcher in Sutton. Seaver, a little more of a driving power type pitcher. Sutton throughout his career. A little more stand-up there. A lot of breaking balls in Seaver's, in Sutton's delivery over the years. And of course, that I would have to think his real money pitch throughout with a lot of his strikeouts. Both these fellas, by the way, high up on that list with strikeouts on the all-time list too.
Seaver was more the power pitcher as a youngster even than Sutton, although Sutton got his chances. Here is Bobby Grich taking the pitch for ball 1.
We're talking about Seaver and his last start, about him being a sinker ball pitcher, and of course, as we remember, we see a lot of the highlights, we always see him as kind of a riding type pitcher, like you do with Dwight Gooden and Clemens a lot now. Told me an interesting story about being a sinker ball. He said the first time I faced Henry Aaron, he said I got him out with that little sinker with no problem. He said I was walking in high clouds then. He said the next time, though.
Where did it go?
He said Henry had me all set up. He said I threw him that little low inside sinker, and he said he just promptly fired right out of there and into the upper deck in Atlanta.
2-1, and Grich makes it 2-2. Bobby Grich hitting .281, 6 home runs and 19 batted in.
Seaver said that's when I figured that sinker was going to need a little something else to go with it.
Welcome to the majors. High pop-up down around the first base line, and Bill Buckner with it. Grich is gone. One out in the California second.
Batting seventh.
Bringing to the plate Bob Boone.
The catcher, Bob
Boone, the catcher, hitting .210, 3 home runs, 21 batted in. Boone 2 for his last 18. And 0 for his last 13 with runners in scoring position. Now it's down to shortstop to Canonis. Makes the throw as strong as he has to with Boone running. Just kind of gets it in there accurately for the second out.
number 22, the shortstop.
So Seaver's taken care of the first 2 in a hurry. And now we'll face Dick Schofield, who had a 3-for-3 afternoon yesterday. Ball outside, 2 outs, nobody on, second inning, and no score. Wave and a miss for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Schofield at .238. Reaches, fouls, out of play. Red Sox take off, and so do the Angels after this one. The Angels go up the coast to play the Oakland, Seattle, and then Minnesota routine. Red Sox head for Chicago in their last city on this 4-city road trip. And it has been a bad one up till now, so they've got to do something about turning it around. They've lost some ground to the Yankees. Yankees have won today, by the way. Foul back, and it's a strike. It's a clean strike, and he's going to go to first base. It was not tipped in the bat. It was a clean third strike. And Schofield gets first.
Well, we've seen a few of these this year both ways. Let's see why here. Getty just simply didn't catch the ball. That glove started one way, and he had to turn it back over. A little late getting there with the glove as it go right off the tip of his glove to the backstop. Schofield realizes that he didn't foul tip it. He'll take off for first and make it.
I think they have scored that a wild pitch. Yeah. Strikeout for Seaver and a wild pitch charged to Tom. Schofield getting first base. Gary Pettis is the batter. The strikeout for Seaver was his first. Pettis hitting .245. The center fielder batting in the number 9 position. Up there with 2 out and a runner at first. Hits the corner for a strike. No balls, 1 strike. Schofield on base again, regardless. Runner takes off, Fired down, and he's safe. Beats the throw from Gedman to Barrett. Stolen base for Dick Schofield. And it was a good throw, too.
Certainly was. Has to be on the jump or just the speed, although Schofield does not look like he's that quick. Gedman handled it quickly. Marty just simply couldn't get the tag on that sliding straight leg as what?
Perfect throw, but Schofield was there. 1-1 to Pettis. Make it strike 2 now. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That stolen base for Schofield, his 15th of the year, and 14 in a row for him.
Two and 2. 0-0 game. Here's McNamara talking to the first base umpire, Larry Young. Looking over the second base umpire, Mike Riley now. Riley going back to his position, so is Young.
Needless to say, this umpiring crew is not very popular with either manager. They screwed a couple different times on this West Coast swing.
2-2 the count to Pettis. And fed outside, ball 3. Schofield at second. 2 out. And Pettis is jammed and fouls it. Count hangs that way at 3-2.
Mac has said a couple of different times, even before this road trip started, he says, I don't want to get on umpires. He said, my ball club's in first place. He said, the last thing I want to do is try to intimidate some of these guys and maybe have a few things go against me. He said, but they won't let me. He says, they're making me get on them.
He can't help it. There's ball 4. Pettis takes a walk. Second walk given up by Seaver. Angels have runners at first and second. It hasn't exactly been a bed of roses since the All-Star break for Mr. McNamara. Rupert Jones is the hitter. Doubled in the first. Right side of the infield, very deep, the edge of the outfield grass. Tony Armas shading over toward right center a bit on Rupert. Misses high for a ball. Two and 0 count now to Jones. And there's the first strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. Some speed on the bases with Schofield at second, and certainly with Pettis at first. Strike 2. Now Seaver has come back to a 2-2 count. Angels left a couple of people on base in the first inning. They've got 2 on now. Red Sox have stranded 2. Down low for ball 3. Now count for Seaver. And the foul on the 3-2 count, and the runner's going. Seaver got the first two men easily this inning, Grich and Boone, and then actually had the third out when he struck out Schofield, but the ball got by Gedman for a wild pitch. Schofield lived, stole second, and then Pettis walked. Now 3-2 to Jones. Got it. Struck him out with 2 on, and the Angels strand 2 again. At the end of 2 innings of play here, 0-0.
Tommy, you have a clue what that was about? Could have turned it up. Oh, you do?
Must have been he pointed out towards second base.
I know, but I couldn't figure out how Young got into it at first.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Red Sox and TV38, intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this telecast without the express written consent of the Red Sox or TV38 is prohibited. Yankees beat Minnesota 4-1. Guidry beating Blyleven, and Guidry had 9 strikeouts in the 5 innings he worked. He was picked up by Scurry and Righetti. Hatcher homered for Minnesota, and Washington also hit a home run for the Yankees. Here we go, Monty.
Nice spot hitter up for the Red Sox as we go to inning number 3. Red Sox have sent 4 hitters to the plate in each of the first and the second inning. A hitter in each inning. A double for Buckner, a single by Evans. Buckner's double after 2 outs. Evans single after 1 out in the second inning, but still, Red Sox and the Angels scoreless in the top of the 3rd. Canona's hitting .240. He's hit 2 homers and has 15 RBI. To Sensei at 3rd, right on the edge of the pool table. Throws out Canona's 1 down. So we'll go back to the top of the order now. Marty Barrett, he popped out to join, leading off the Red Sox first. Maybe you were wondering, I certainly was, had 300 game winners ever faced each other? Well, they have. It's about it's the second time it's happened this summer. And the first time it's happened since before the turn of the century.
Look at the names of those guys.
Oh, boy.
Bud Galvin.
Bud Galvin. Fly ball, lazy fly ball, curling up into the seats and out of play. Earlier this year, Sutton faced Phil Niekro. That was on June 28th, right here at the Big A. Angels won that ball game 9-3. And actually, Sutton and Seaver have matched up previously this year, but Sutton at that time had not become a 300-game winner. Base hit to right center field. So the Red Sox have their third hit and a one-out runner here in the third inning. Well, let's see if they continue to try to make Boggs pull the ball now with that hole on the right side, or would they shift a little bit, maybe try to get him to go the opposite way. Joyner, of course, will hold Barrett one down. Well, it seemed like they use a little more of the outside part of the play, but with the first pitch to Boggs, that's kind of a given pitch to a pitcher as far as Boggs is concerned anyway, 0-1. Ball opposite way. If you go back to, boy, this will really have to jog some memories. July 21st, well, just 6 days ago, and then 100 years ago since then. 1892 is when the previous meeting of 300 game winners took place. Tim Keefe against Bud Galvin, as Ned had mentioned. Galvin, Jim Galvin actually was his name, real name, James Galvin. Fly ball center field. And Gary Pettis again positioned just about right. Hauls this one in. And Boggs is out number 2. Barrett returning to first. One thing that may be a little bit interesting to you here one way or the other. In 1892, pitchers only threw from 50 feet to home plate. So if that is any dividing line that makes a difference between these two 300 game winners and that matchup back then, I don't know.
I would hate to be thrown to at 50 feet by Tom Seaver in his prime.
I would imagine both these fellows could rush it there pretty good too. Keefe and Galvin. Galvin, a winner of 361 career games. 1893 is when they changed and started making the pitches work from 60 feet 6 inches.
That's when, that's when the whole business, I think, really resolved itself on the distances and everything. Alexander Cartwright really was the guy who invented the game, I believe, as it is now, not Doubleday. But Doubleday's a good story, and Cooperstown's a lovely town. So.
We'll just let that go at that. Buckner double his first time up, 2 outs in the first inning. Buckner wound up at second. Red Sox have 2 outs here with Barrett at first, and we're scoreless in the top of the third inning. Baseball's kind of fortunate in a lot of ways. This is the first time also since the turn of the century that they have, I think it's the first time they've ever had 4 300 game winners active at the same time. Of course, you got Carlton, Seaver, and Sutton, the matchup here today, and Negro. Buckner back at the turn of the century, and I know of 3, and I have been told that there was possibly another one. However, I cannot find out or verify for sure. Charles Radbourn, the man that Seaver's tied with now, of course, active with 300 games under his belt. So was James Galvin, along with none other than the all-time game winner himself, Cy Young. All those people active right at the turn of the century or just after the turn of the century. Buckner again, this time off the glove of Joyner. This ball headed deep in the right field. Barrett at third, they were holding there, and Buckner has his second double of the game. Boy, one of the few times that you do not see Joyner get a glove on the ball, and it's happened twice here today, both times off the bat of Buckner.
They'll just ate Wally up with this one again, this time even more so, right toward the line. Down in there, flicked past him, and down into that double territory. Chased by Jones, get a nice relay, and got it back strongly on a relay from Joyner to home. No chance at all for Barrett to come on.
Running the bases, though, as if he would have had a chance. Any muff of that cutoff play or the ball's thrown low may have had a chance to score. So they'll stand at second and third, 2 down. Here's Rice. On the swing, they say strike one to Jim. He thought he held it up in time. Rice on a medium deep fly ball to left center. No question about the pitch being too low. The swing was there, though. 0-1 to Jimmy. Red Sox with 4 hits now off Don Sutton, trying to collect their first runs of this ball game for either club. Nice in a deep hole, though. No balls, 2 strikes. Teaser pitch. We'll pause here quickly for station identification. This is the TV 38 Red Sox Network. Back at the Big A, runners at second and third, 2 outs, 1 ball, 2 strikes. The count on Jim Rice. We're scoreless. A purpose pitch from Sutton there, up and in to move Rice back. 2-2 the count. Jones, a long run into foul ground now. Does he have the ball? We'll have to wait. No sign as yet. Apparently he doesn't have it. He'd be showing it to someone. No, sir. Does not get to it. Either that or it was just snatched right out of his glove.
I don't think he quite got there. He kind of hung over the fence after making a good effort at it. A foul ball down there. Had a long run for Jones. A very little foul room there. Just out of his reach, and he hung himself over the railing after that.
The fan got his mitts on it before Rupert Jones could get his on it. He's an Angel fan, too. He's got a right for that one, possibly.
Just making an announcement about not interfering with the ball in play. Specifically after that play.
Well, that's borderline where that ball was on his side of the line or on Jones's side of the line. It still could have been handled by Jones, though, I think, had that fan not interrupted. 2-2 to Jimmy. And now the count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Sutton kind of careful with Rice both times now. Both times for Rice, he has had 3-2 counts. This time, though, with first base open. I don't want to give in to Jimmy even yet with runners at second and third. Goes for a bad ball. It's bounced to the Sensei at third. Good throw on Rice. And Sutton gets out of the jam here in the third inning. A couple of hits for Boston. They did not score. They lead 2 and now left 4 on in 3 innings. And after 2.5 innings of play. California nothing and Boston nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen, to find out details regarding the Angels' second annual cruise aboard the brand new luxury liner MD Homeric, you're invited to stop by the information booth located at gate number 2 following the 6th inning. First baseman, Wally Joyner.
Seaver to look at the Angel lineup here. Number 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up for California. We're scoreless as we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Joyner, the first baseman, first up. He'll be followed by the Sensei and Jackson. Both pitchers now have had a little test. Certainly Seaver had one in the first inning with a leadoff double by Jones. He did not score. A couple runners on in the Angels' second. Seaver got out of that by striking out Rupert Jones. And that last little test for Sutton, runners at second and third, and the Boston third, and they did not score. 1-1 to Joyner. About the double play he turned yesterday in the latter part of that ball game. That ball hit to him. He never came up off the ground at one knee. He just made the perfect strike throw to second and got up and got to the bag to take the return throw.
It was pretty, really pretty. 3-6-3.
That left-handed throwing first baseman's not an advantage. Broken back, Looper to right field, base hit to Jones. He's got first, he's going for two.
Crew's going to get in trouble with the Angels now, but what a throw by Evans, and what a fine play by Dwight to dig it out in a hurry and get that strike into Marty Barrett. Here it is. He breaks his bat right off the thin part of the handle. It goes, kind of dies out there, and Evans covers it nicely going toward the line. Joyner, no hesitation, starts for second, and here's the throw. Almost simultaneous as the ball and player arrive.
Sensei up as he takes the call, first strike. I think what Joyner was arguing about, the fact that his feet got to that bag on the high tag, but it was a close play, no question. Looked like Marty did get the tag on him before the foot did get the bag. Have to look at it again a little more thoroughly. Softly hit to Canones at short. The Sensei will be thrown out, 2 down. We talked a little bit Friday night about how quick this outfield is. That ball got to Evans real quickly.
So the tag appeared to be low enough. Very, very close though at second.
That put out going 9-6. Canones taking the throw there. Here's Reggie Jackson with the bases empty, 2 down. One of those things for Tom Seaver. He may say, look, I know what you did to me last time. You will not have a chance to do it again. 3 balls, no strikes to count. Reggie walked his first time up when first base was unoccupied. Jones standing at second and 2 down. Seaver opted to work on Downey and got him into a fielder's choice, going 5-4. There's ball 4 to Reggie. He's on 2 times just that way. Third walk given up by Seaver. Downing. Nothing wrong with that kind of play. The guy who you think can beat you or get you behind in the ball game. No point in letting it happen. I asked both pitchers today, Sutton and Seaver, were they ever concerned anywhere in their career about who their pitching opponent was? And both of them gave me almost identical answers. That's something that never concerned either one of them. They were so confident in their ability and knowing what they had to do to win a ball game one way or the other. Sutton did say, though, it made a difference to him sometime when he was in the National League. As far as
another pitcher hitting.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
He said, when I was facing somebody like a Seaver, he said, I'd be concerned over getting him out. He said, but as far as my pitching and winning a ball game was concerned, he said, that didn't happen. He said, I pitched in defense. My offense got me the wins, or lack of offense got me the losses. High and inside to Downing is Seaver, and the count is 2-2.
Well, you got to think shutout every time you go out there, and regardless of what your team is going to do with the opposing pitcher, just like you think every off-tackle play is designed to run a touchdown.
Matter of fact, Seaver told me, he said, if that would have been the case, he said, I wouldn't have winning marks against the likes of Bob Gibson and a Sutton. And those are some guys that many times I would face, but wouldn't have a problem with them. There goes the runner, and this ball is foul third base way. But you just stay right in gear and come on back to first. And now he broke stride. Jackson at first, 2 down. No score, bottom of the third inning. Dodge at third, comes up nicely for him. On to Barrett, and the fair fielder's choice once again. Used by Downing, and they'll retire the Angels in the bottom of the third inning. They have a hit and one left, and after 3 full innings of play, no score.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Angels have a big to take photos of the Angels that enter the Kodak Photo Contest with an opportunity to win many fine prizes. That's Picture Perfect Weekend, the Angels and Mariners, August 8th through the 10th. Hope you make your plans to join us now. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to extend a special welcome to over 500
Feuding mine owners think they've both hired a notorious gunman. James Garner stars in Support Your Local Gunfighter, Monday night at 8 on the Movie Loft here on WSBK TV 38.
You can join the Red Sox on a 7-day cruise. It'll be coming January the 18th, 1987. And you'll be aboard the Royal Caribbean Cruise Line's Song of America. Not only will you be sailing the Caribbean ports, but you'll have a chance to enjoy a softball game. There'll be special parties, photo and autograph sessions, and more. Call 1-800-225-5423, or make that 5432, I'm sorry, to reserve your stateroom today. A little bend in that breaking ball, but doesn't get in there. 1-0 to Donnie. Hello, Beacon Falls. Sometimes you wonder, and not today though, I don't think, Ned. A lot of times we've been in this ballpark that the Red Sox fans have outnumbered the Angel fans, but I don't think that would be the case today.
No, they're in a definite minority, but it's a vociferous minority. You've heard a lot of cheers so far for Boston.
It is a beautiful crowd here. Pretty to look up, and I will assure you as a player, it is especially pretty to look up and see that many seats filled. Taylor goes for the breaking ball once again. He's down in the count, a ball and 2 strikes. Here's some of the Boston rooters here.
I remember seeing this place this full since those new seats were put in. Football seats.
Sutton once again staying right with that breaking ball, is even in the count now with Donnie, 2-2. Baylor, strikeout victim, leading off the second inning for Boston. In the third, runners as far as second and third with 2 outs could not deliver them as Rice bounced out to Sensei. A couple of masters being masterful here this afternoon so far. And strike 3, Baylor's gone for the second time. That ball right on the outside corner, and Baylor's going to have a little word with Tim McClellan behind the plate.
The pitch by Sutton. They felt it tailed on the outside corner and framed nicely by Bob Boone with that glove coming over toward the inner part of the plate.
Notice that first little move by Boone's glove, though we couldn't see the outside corner. It looked like he had to go a little bit to his right.
Yeah.
Then brought it back in and framed it nicely, as you mentioned. Here's Evans. A line drive single to left his first time up. That's as far as he got as Armisen Gedman went down. 4 hits for Boston, 2 for the Angels. Neither club with a miscue. Bobby Grix did make an error at second base yesterday. And 5 or 6 guys run around here with badges today trying to find out why and how. Just a routine ground ball.
Not supposed to be done.
Only the Angels' 50th error of the year. One and 2 to Evans. He's gone. And right arm quickly up by McClellan. That breaking ball biting that outside corner. 2 down.
The way it impacted on that curveball, that was a beauty. Evans just kind of leaned with it and hoped he would get the call, which he didn't. And it's another strikeout for Sutton.
He has 3 now. 2 up, 2 down quickly on strikes here in the 4th. Here's Tony Armas with the bases empty. Armas had a medium deep fly ball to left his first time up. That's just a bit outside for ball 1.
Can't frame that one.
Woo. I'd say that one hung on the thumb just a little bit too long for Sutton.
Boone just kind of whistled at it as it went by.
I want to see if it hit the backstop and went bounce. Cue shot, foul ball, right side. Walt Reniak to make the play out of the coaching box. 1-1 to Armas. Sutton had a career milestone in mind. Had a chance. He wanted to, of course, break the win record of the Dodgers. Base hit to left field by Armas. Boy, what a ringer that was. So Armas kind of picks up right where he left off, because when he got hurt, those are the kind of base hits he was getting. Those hard line drives between short and third.
Tony got the ball a breaking pitch too and nailed it.
Don Drysdale had been the all-time Dodger winner with 209 wins. Roger Clemens, maybe his eyes somewhere along the career 300 mile. I don't think there's any point in a career, certainly early part of a career, that a pitcher would ever say that, because you mentioned longevity. Certainly that would be in there. Sutton told me once he had broken that Drysdale record that his sights were on 300 and he would start working for that mark. But the biggest one for him. Oh, a little action again coming out of the Red Sox dugout, and McClellan may have heard enough.
Like Mac is saying, what do you mean? Who? Us? Somebody. McClellan's pointing to somebody in there. One of the two. A Baylor or an Evans, maybe?
Threw Rice out?
Rice.
Well, that would be the first indication.
I mean, he sprung out of that dugout with a complaint. Baylor had the biggest gripe so far this inning on the strike 3. I thought it might have been done, but I don't know if they threw him out, whether they threw Rice out, or whether they just were giving him a stern warning.
Well, I would have to say that from the response of the crowd that someone has been ejected, but
I didn't see any notification of it from the plate umpire, McClellan, anyway. As soon as Rice turned to the dugout, the big roar broke open.
Hurst now is trying to maybe take up for somebody. He's yelling out of the dugout. It was me that was yelling, not Rice.
Hurst is all right.
You know, don't mind if you eject Hurst. You don't want to get anybody thrown out. But you can afford to lose Hurst out of a game over a Jim Rice. Well, we've mentioned this crew has been in the thick of things a couple of times in this road trip.
Boy, I'll say. If it hadn't been McClellan, it's been Riley, and McClellan got into that shouting match with Marty Barrett that was so funny to look at.
Yep.
Barrett comes up to about his navel. Baylor out there now. And the men in blue are being inundated by the men in gray right now.
John's going to go with him, whoever it is.
Yep. Covers up the plate. He's gone. McClellan was a guy at the plate when Barrett got into the argument with him. Well, all kinds of things messing around home plate today.
If Rice were yelling from that dugout, I would find it really unusual. He wouldn't have any reason to be yelling at him about any plays at the plate. Well, the Red Sox doing a little throwing out of their own.
Yeah,
helmets flying out of there.
2 helmets now. That looks like Rick Burleson is in the wrong dugout.
Wouldn't be a Rice trait to sit on a dugout and yell at anyone, much less an umpire. Now the lineup card being exchanged now from John McNamara to third base coach Rene Lachemann.
Well, manager's gone. I guess that's number 3 for Mac this year.
Well, probably Mike Greenwell would loosen up. Look like Mikey loosening up in that dugout anyway. Of course, John may be somewhat of a favorite yet with these Angel fans.
Getting mixed reviews here.
So until we hear officially, I guess we can certainly Mac is out. There's no question about that. And we can assume, I think, that Jim Rice has been ejected. So Armas at first, 2 down, Gedman the hitter. And now
Rice still in the dugout.
Well, he's still in the dugout. Actually, if you're ejected, you are not allowed to stay there. So maybe he has not been ejected. Gedman reaches for one, chops it to Schofield at short. He'll change his mind and then go to first to take Gedman. And the Red Sox 4th inning is over. They do not score on a hit. They leave one. And after 3 1/2, there's no score.
Continued it in there.
Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, be sure to follow the Angels on the road by tuning in KMPC Radio 710 on your dial from the Dow Continental on Fairland White Sox, or in Spanish to XPRS 1090 on your dial with Cosby and Edward and Valentine, inspired with play-by-play. 4 of the Angels' 10 road games will be televised by KTLA Channel 5, Tuesday night at Oakland, Saturday and next Sunday in Seattle, and Tuesday, August 5th at Minnesota. Bob Starr and Joe Torre will give you the words eye view. Finally, be sure to join us here again at the Big A on Thursday night, August 7th, when the Angels return home to open an important 10-game stay. Thank you.
Very slow, a lot of 3-2s and foul balls. Red Sox on television coming up from Chicago's Comiskey Park this Tuesday and Wednesday night, both at 8 o'clock over most of these stations, so check your local listings.
Well, we have learned now that it was Don Baylor who was ejected from the game. Baylor was the one who would have had a little bit of discussion with the plate umpire, Tim McClellan. That was about to call strike 3 to Donnie leading off that 4th inning. The discussion is continuing now between McClellan and Rene Latchman.
He's acting manager. Better stay around, Latch.
A little hard to figure out what this discussion could be about. Right here. I'm surprised that McClellan would have taken himself over to that dugout, maybe to get drawn into something.
Well, Latchman's very definite about what he's talking.
McClellan may have wanted to go over there and find, and maybe what Latchman is saying, I don't have to tell you who he is until it's his turn to hit again. I don't know. That I couldn't figure out what else they could be talking about. Mark, of course, as a manager would like to know who the DH would be, because if you got to that point in a ball game, it may make a difference who you wanted up as a reliever throwing. I don't know if you have to designate who that hitter would be until his turn to hit again. I suppose not. I mean, it would be, well, maybe you would on the ejection.
Well,
I'm not
he's
sure.
put into the lineup. I mean, it's not just like a pinch hitter. I don't know. Well, we saw Greenwell around there starting to talk with bats and everything. He may be the designated hitter. Who knows?
Well, it'll be a while before he's got a while to get loosened.
I'll say. Yeah.
To go almost all the way around the order. Baylor leading that 4th inning off. Whatever it is, the discussion continues, and it's gone from both sides to the Red Sox dugout and then over to the Angel dugout. Now here comes Latchman again. He's got a rule book. That may be what they're talking about.
Could be. I would think that would not be the only possibility. The fact that a change has been made. Oh, the game is being played under protest now.
But who's protesting?
Under protest.
Angels.
The Angels.
Why are the Angels?
Maybe because, I don't know. That's as good a question as we've had all day, though.
Hey, this is a mess here.
Well, I don't know if experience has anything to do with it. This umpiring crew with probably less experience in it than any combination of umpiring crews in the American League this year. Mike Riley would have the most experience of the group here. So Gene Mark playing this game under protest as we go into the bottom of the 4th inning. No score. Bobby Grich first up for the Angels. And Seaver works on an outside corner for an 0-1 count. Grich popped it up to Buckner leading off the 2nd. 5 hits for Boston. Now they're out hitting the Angels by 3. That breaking ball comes around the inside corner, 1-1. High deep drive center field. Armas going back. He'll watch it sail. Touch them all, Bobby Grich. 1-0 California. Second time in as many days that Grich has homered against Boston, and just about in the same spot. That's number 8 for the second baseman. Bob Boone fouls that one away, 0-1. Number 7 for Grich on the year. The Angels lead 1-0. Boone to the right side, base hit. Those are not boos that you pick up in the background. They're just yelling, Booney. Boone just wanted to shoot that ball to the right way. Took that pitch inside out, had to swing on it, and delivered it into right field. Boone changed that stance 3 or 4 times this year. He's been closed, open, He's had a fairly narrow stance. He widened it way out where he took no stride at all. Now he's back to just about a normal stance. Still doesn't take a very long stride. So the Angels with a run in and a man on, nobody out. Here's the shortstop, Dick Schofield. Struck out. It was on a board with a wild pitch. He squares to bunt. It's way outside. 1-0. Best the Red Sox could do with a win today would be to even the series with these Angels on the year. They could split the 12 games right in half with a win here. 1-0 to Schofield. He goes on a hit and run and dumps it into right field. Booney around second. He'll go to third easily. Schofield trying for the 2, and he doesn't get it. Evans throws him out. So the Angels were not going to be satisfied with a first and third, nobody out. Schofield tried to stretch that into a double, and he'll be knocked down by Evans. Evans' second assist in this game.
Ball just drops into shallow right field as Evans chases it down, and again they're thinking 2 base hit, and again Evans guns him down. So Evans with 2 assists, 1 on Joyner, and now 1 here on Schofield.
That gives Dwight 8 outfield assists this year. Evans has always had ideas about being a pitcher. Boy, he's had a couple of nice deliveries today to the bag at second for sure. So the Red Sox infield will play about halfway. Now back up a bit on the right side as Gary Pettis is the hitter with Boone at third and 1 down. Marty had come in very close, and then just as Seaver went to pitch, backed up a couple steps. Now he's back this time and stays back as Pettis goes to the opposite side. He's down in the count 0-2. So if there's a certain thing as having a hitter in the right place at the right time, it would be Pettis here. He is the Angel most likely to strike out at any given time. That pitch way high from Seaver. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Pettis. A lot of signs being given away by Stubing at third. Now he's in close to Boone at third. Maybe they got some vocal on there. Will slap toward third. Foul ball. Drew Koval with the call. I don't know why he would have the call. It's really not his call until it gets past that bag at third. Boggs will move right up that line. Here comes Koval with him. Booney coming right up that line. He's going to force the play if the ball is fair. Boggs has to go through with the play. They had it in plenty of time. Both umpires had it called foul all the way. Just off that outside edge. 2-2 now to count to Pettis. With Boone running at third, a little slower foot, Red Sox infield can give him a little more room. And now it's a 3-2 count. Actually, Boggs and Buckner, even with their respective bags, it's Barrett and Canonis who's about halfway. Struck him out. A little bit off that pitch, or was it a foul tip? Foul tip indeed, in out of the glove of Gedman. Seaver uses this pitch. Sometimes you see that in Harwin. That's the running sinker. He uses as a changeup. Also a straight change. He'll throw off that same delivery. Won't have quite as much movement as that one that just tailed. Fly ball, right center field. This will be more than deep enough. Evans still tracking, can't handle it. One big bounce up into the seats. It'll be a ground rule double for Pettis. Boone scores the second Angel run, and it's 2-0 California. Boy, that ball really given a ride by the little center fielder. Now Mark has something to say.
That ball was driven, and it looked for a moment as if it might sail and hit the wall. Evans was tracking it down and did not have a chance at it. And it takes a big hop there on the track, and then takes the big hop over the wall for the ground rule. Otherwise, Pettis is flying around there, headed for third. Easily would have been at third base on this.
I think what Mark may have been asking about, did Evans touch that ball? If Evans touched that ball, then he could have been, Pettis could have been awarded a 3-base hit on that, saying that Evans forced it out of the ballpark. To Jones, they're low. Oh, Pettis has driven in his 33rd run. Here's another look at it. Evans did not touch it. That ball is away from him off the warning track and then bounces up into what would be an upper level section of seats. And by the way, is full of people. There goes Pettis for third. It's foul down the right field side.
Thanks for the foul.
It's one of those kind you throw it to a base in advance to hold him to the one he's going to. Boy, did he ever have a jump there. Sammy Stewart is loosening in the Red Sox bullpen. Rupert stays away from a pitch down out of the strike zone. Ball bouncing around that plate quite a bit this inning so far. That clay up there really puts some scuffs and big red splotches on the ball. They use that around the mound and the home plate area only here now in Anaheim Stadium. At one time, they had it all over the infield. Almost impossible to play in here. You never wanted to slide on it. Rupert doesn't catch up with that one, and the count evens at 2-2. One down here in the Angel fourth inning. They've got a couple in. One on the Gritch homer. That has been followed by 3 straight hits, actually. One of them a hit-and-run play. But the batter on the hit-and-run play, Schofield, thrown out at second. That is accounted for the lone out. There goes Pettis again. The swing and a miss. Strike 3. They throw him out at third. So the double play completed there on the strikeout. 5-3. Make that 2-3, 2-5 on the putout. And the fourth inning is history for California, but they made some noise. Quite a bit of noise. They get 2 runs on 4 hits. They leave no one. And at the end of 4, it's California 2 and Boston nothing. Just to the left of the camera.
Center field.
The item at George, compliments of Angels flagship station KFBC 710 on your dial. Be sure to pick up your tickets early for this big day. That's Saturday, August 16th at Portable Radio Night at Anaheim Stadium. Thank you.
And Quinones against Don Sutton. Red Sox down by 2. We had guessed the Angels' protest had something to do with throwing the wrong guy out, according to the Angels, wasn't it?
No, the designated hitter, because the Red Sox would not identify him, the new designated hitter. And that was the reason for Mark's protest. That was the only thing I could figure out that it could possibly have been. I don't know if you have to do that or you don't have to do it.
Quinones with the foul back. Ray grounded to third base his first time up. That was in the 3rd inning.
Well, I don't know that Mark would be right or wrong one way or the other, but that is one man that I would have to, if I had to make a guess, he would know the rules, although Latchman had the rule book out. Now, I don't know if it explains it in there or not. I'm going to take a minute, though, and we'll see if I can find it.
Well, yeah, let's take a look and see what happens. It's a technicality, definitely, and had really, at that particular point, for not having done it, no bearing on the game, although the batting order could change or that you could put a different person in the DH spot later unless you really had to do it at that point.
I want to keep him entertained while I take a minute off here to look this up.
1 ball and 2 strikes, the count to Quinones. And there is a foul out of the glove of Bob Boone, so he stays alive. 1-2. Red Sox have gotten no runs. They've had opportunities in this game. They had a 2-out double from Buckner with no results in the 1st inning. A 1-out single from Evans in the 2nd. They had 2 men on base, runners at 2nd and 3rd with 2 out in the 3rd and could not plate them, and a single with 2 out in the 4th. They trailed 2-0. Quinones reaches, drills it towards center field. Gary Pettis back and cannot get the ball. It's at the 4:04 mark. Quinones will head for 3rd. Here comes the throw. He is out. Bobby Grich making the play at 3rd, and Latchman is mad. A bit of hesitation around second base for Quinones. Cost him the half step he needed, apparently. And Bobby Grich fired a strike as a deep cutoff man from Pettis to Grich into third base to DeCinces for the out. It'll be a double, and 8-4-5.
With the naked eye, it looked like Quinones was in underneath the tag with the head first slide and the arm getting to the bag. Boy, oh boy.
Latchman was hot after that call. Let's take a look at it.
Regardless of how it comes out, you don't make the 1st or the 3rd out going to 3rd under any circumstances. This ball really given a ride by Quinones. Deeper. Oh, this is going on. Now McClellan and Coble are going to team up against Latchman. Here comes the back end of this play. Quinones around second. Perfectly handled on the cutoff throw by Grich. Clean there. The one hopper. Here comes the hand to the bag. Well, he went right by the bag.
He went over it with his hand. Like it must have been tagged first. Pretty play. I think Ray seemed like he hesitated around second. Took a look back over his shoulder instead of thinking 3 all the way. So he is out. And a costly out that could be. Here's Marty Barrett. With the breaking ball for a strike. 0-2 to Barrett. Marty is 1 for 2. He singled to center field in the 3rd. And 1 ball, 2 strikes. Red Sox and Angels tied in hits at 6. Popped up right field way, Rupert Jones. Barrett is gone. They're 2 away. There's the play again with Pettis turning a little bit the wrong way. Had the ball tick off his glove. Finally picking it up. And the relay made to the deep cutoff man, Bobby Grich, who fired a perfect throw. And like from that angle, it looks as if Quinones is safe. From the other angle, it looks as if he's out. 1 ball, no strikes to Boggs. They bunch up left center on him, give him the hole in right center field. He goes to left with it. Brian Downing moving, and that is out number 3. 3 men bat. One gets a hit, but is thrown out on the bases, and after 4 1/2, the Angels lead 2-0.
I would say here that they would have to designate him, Ned, by the way this reads. There's a designated hitter for a pitcher. Must be selected prior to the game and must be included in the lineup. So if he's ejected,
Got to have somebody in the lineup immediately.
well, that's the way it sounds to me.
Well, you have to put a right fielder in. If it happened to be Rice ejected, they'd have to know who was coming in, I would think. It is technicality, but that very...
But that's the only, it doesn't say anything. All the rest of it's just referring to if someone else hits with a designated hitter, or if the pitcher becomes a defensive player. That's the only thing it says.
Latch had a rule book up out there. I wonder what part of the rule book he was looking at.
Can't hear you, Tommy. Yeah. Okay. Perhaps the Angels in that last inning when Gedman hooked up with Boggs on the back end of this one. First of all, it started with Seaver on a strikeout to Jones, that tailing away fastball. Good time for Gedman to throw there. That tag put on Pettis, he just drove it right on into the bag. Boggs coming right down on that leg. Completing that double play to strike out, and 2-5.
Here we go now with the Angels up, and a drive to right field, fouled off the bat of Wally Joyner. Long foul ball down into right. The Angels leading 2-0 as they bat in the 5th inning. Joyner, DeCinces, and Jackson. Joyner taking outside. Wally has fly to right and single to right. In Rule 610 in the rule book, B, under B, designated hitter named in the starting lineup must come to bat at least one time. Well, we do that. A designated hitter for the pitcher must be selected prior to the game and must be included in the lineup cards presented to the umpire-in-chief. They have nothing to say about a designated hitter leaving and being replaced, except the fact that the pitcher could be locked in the order. But not anything about when you say he is to be in there, except that it's supposed to be included in the lineup card presented to the umpire. So that was what Mark was talking about, evidently. A walk to Joyner puts a runner on for the Angels. Doug DeCinces is up. 4 walks have been given up by Tom Seaver. 2 of them the pitch around type to Reggie Jackson. The bunt is nicely placed but foul. Running along that chalk and then breaking out foul. That's the only thing that Wade could do anything about. As DeCinces trying not only to get his runner down, but a chance at bunting for a base hit. DeCinces has grounded out twice to the left side of the infield today. Once to Boggs and once to Canonis. Sammy Stewart up for the second time down in left field in that runway bullpen. Seaver struggled in the 4th, gave up the home run, then 2 singles and a double, 4 hits in a row. Did get a runner thrown out, then got the double play. Rings charging. Buckner and Boggs on the expected bunt as Moose Stubing, the third base coach, signs again on to DeCinces. Seaver trying to keep this game at a low rate, hoping his teammates can get some runs for him. As we mentioned, they have not gotten too many for him or for any other Red Sox pitcher except Roger Clemens. Coming into this game, in the games that Clemens has not pitched on this road trip, the Red Sox had scored 18 runs for the other 4 pitchers. They scored 17 in the 2 Roger Clemens games. The bunt kills itself right in front of the plate, and Seaver throws to Barrett for the out. Sacrifice for DeCinces. Joyner moving to second.
A lot of English on this ball as it comes off the sacrifice attempt by DeCinces. Puts that ball right out on the edge of the grass. Long way for Seaver to come and get this ball on the bunt attempt. That assures DeCinces of getting the sacrifice. Absolutely no play at second whatsoever. Barrett on a runaround coverage, taking a throw at first.
Reggie Jackson has taken 2 walks. Came up with a runner at second base, as he does now, in the first inning, and they pitched around him. A 2-out walk to him in the third. Hadn't seen a good pitch to hit all afternoon.
And now the 1-out walk here in the 5th.
That's right.
That's what he's going to get.
Count is 2 balls, no strikes. Ties him up for a strike call that time. Third base umpire Drew Coble calling it.
That's one there you say, I don't even want. I don't even want to ask. I'll just take it for a ball.
2-1.
I'll be saying, well, you take the bat out of Jackson's hand. Well, yeah, in a way you do.
Inside, ball 3.
But what Mark is thinking, I have a 2-0 lead, and when my man is scoring position, I'll let them change the batting order to get to a Downing or a Grich behind him. I got 2 chances to score that guy from second.
Reggie, for the 3rd time, looks at ball 4. Runners at first and second, 1 out. 5th walk issued by Seaver. Now Brian Downing up. And if history repeats himself, he will ground to Boggs. He has done that twice behind a walk to Jackson. He hit into 2 force plays that way. Boggs to Barrett. Ball 1. Angels ahead 2-0, 1 out in the 5th inning, and runners at first and second. And a throw quickly down to second, not in time. Count is 2-0 to Downing.
The Downing stance has changed from year to year. He was closed the first part of this year. First part of this series he was even closed. Now he's wide open again.
There's a strike to him, 2-1. Through most of the years, that's the stance that he has had. The one you're looking at right now, that facing the pitcher almost. It does go to Boggs. He goes to Barrett, and they've got the head of the force. They turn it into a double play to end the inning. And after 5, it is 2-0 California.
What does it say?
Umpire's got
Yeah. I saw that. You're right. You're right. Only it was before yesterday.
They've been that way for a while.
Working next door? For an unforgettable pregame gathering, have your group over to the pitcher's mound right inside Fenway Park. In-house catering service will provide a variety of food and beverage packages in your own private function room. There are a limited number of dates available for the months of August, September, and October, so book your date now. And you can book that date by calling 262-1915, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday.
Here we go now to the 6th inning. And we look again at Downing's double play.
History did come right back there. Good clean play by Boggs. Had to back up a half step to take the ball in a big bounce. Jackson tried to upend Marty Barrett on a good hard slide, but Marty was well out of his way, and they complete the double play.
Bill Buckner starting it off in the 6th inning. And he has had 2 doubles right down the right field line. The attendance has come in. It's a beauty. 61,559. Biggest crowd we've ever seen here. Last year, July 4th, they had 62,000. 62,000 plus last year. So this is the second biggest crowd the Red Sox have played before in this ballpark since they added those football seats in center. That's right. Last year we were here on the 4th of July. Buckner drills it high and foul, out of play down the right side. 0-2. Red Sox down 2-0 as they bat in the 6th inning. Game replete with just about everything, including some clutch pitching by both pitchers. The flaps with the umpires by both teams. The game being played under protest by the Angels. Mike Greenwell is standing around in the hole, as they say, so he apparently has been named the designated hitter by Rene Latchman. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Price is out on deck, and Greenwell right there, standing with the foot on the near the top step, ready to come out on deck when Rice comes up. Greenwell, number 39. Well, the rules do state that you have to make known your designated hitter, but it said nothing about the case of a DH being injected and how soon you had to make it known. Usually the rule, I think, applies besides what we gave you, that he can be announced when his time comes at bat. But there it is, over by first base. Wally Joyner tracking it and leaning over to come up with a catch. A lot of white showing, but Joyner showed a lot of patience and stayed right with that ball. Took it away from a couple of folks for the out.
Not only a lot of patience, a lot of nerve. He'll get in there. He'll start dancing around now with some fans, some arms. He's going to climb that wall if he has to. Hat gets in his way. He's got a snow cone when he comes out of there.
That's a good play right there.
He's going to climb the wall. No, he didn't need to. Yes, sir.
A lot of concentration being shown by Joyner on that one. There's a strike to Rice. Jim Rice, center fielder, or fly to center rather, and grounded to third, and he singles up the middle this time. We'll pause for a station break on the TV 38 Red Sox Network. Back at Anaheim, and here the announcement is made for the designated hitter. The designated hitter now becomes Mike Greenwell, getting his first at-bat since reporting from Pawtucket a couple of days ago. He got into a game defensively, but did not come to the plate. So Greenwell, who was hitting over 300 at Pawtucket, coming up against Don Sutton. Mike, of course, had a good spring, but they wanted him to play every day. He did not make the squad to start with. They figured he's going to be up sooner or later, and he's up sooner now. You remember him from last year when he just hit nothing but home runs for a while when he broke in. Pops it up to the left side. Doug DeCinces. 2 outs.
One of the few swings Mike has taken in the big leagues that didn't result in a round tripper.
First 4 hits in the majors were home runs. Now Dwight Evans comes up. 2 outs. Rice at first. Evans is 1 for 2. He singled to left and was called out on strikes. That was the inning that caused the Red Sox so much gloom, as they had a couple of called third strikes, an argument by Baylor, then a single by Armas. While Gedman was up there, the argument continued from the bench, and Baylor was ejected, and so was McNamara. Here it comes back here. A foul strike to Evans. 2 runs and 6 hits for the Angels, no runs and 7 hits for the Red Sox. Red Sox left 5 on in the first 4 innings. They had a runner cut down on the bases. Quinones trying to stretch a double into a triple, leading off the 5th. They've got a runner on now. There's a line drive to third. Evans hits the ball hard right at DeCinces, and that's all for the Red Sox in the 6th. After 5 1/2, California 2 and Boston nothing. Oh.
Well, pull the lens in.
Holy mackerel. Way to go, gang. What is she going to do now? Oh, that's nice. Where is she?
She's going to be out there somewhere. She can be anywhere she wants to be.
Sleep wherever you want.
Find out, John. I know it wasn't. I didn't think it was in that.
Which comes first? He was the MVP of the 1986 All-Star game, pitching 3 perfect innings. Pitching in his home state of Texas in front of family and friends, he said it was a dream come true. Immediately following today's game, watch Clemens and Friends Home to the Dome. You won't want to miss it right here on WSBK TV 38.
Fans, just a reminder, they can still pick up your copy of the 1986 Red Sox yearbook at Fenway or at local newsstands. Order by mail. Send $5 in check or money order to Boston Red Sox Yearbook, 50 Beacon Street, Boston, Massachusetts, 02108.
Going to the bottom of the 6th inning. California Angels leading Red Sox and Seaver 2-0. Grich, Boone, and Schofield, the guys that started the trouble in the 4th inning, will be up. Bobby Grich hit a home run to center field for the first run of the game. He is 1 for 2.
Kind of an interesting article about Bobby in the Sunday paper here today. Kind of hinted at he was ready to retire at the end of this year. Meanwhile, he's stroking home runs right and left. He said it's kind of funny, yesterday you put the home run on the board. It was a big one, and all of a sudden the one big part of the day is all torn down and became a bad day when he made the error on the routine ground ball in the 9th inning. He told the then shortstop Schofield, he said, if that error had cost us this ball game. How about bringing a gun to work with you tomorrow? You could just shoot me. I've had it.
Go out and destroy me. Well, as it turned out, it didn't bother anybody anyway, and he won't make many of the errors, particularly on a ground ball like that. Count on him, 1 ball, 1 strike. Seaver again pitching a very workmanlike ball game and getting very little to show for it as far as batting support. Bullpen gets busy for the Angels. 3-1 to Grich. Lifts it high to the right side. Buckner back along the line. Barrett over. Barrett calls, and Marty with the catch. Grich popping up to his opposite number, Marty Barrett. 1 down. Left-hander Gary Lucas is in the bullpen now for the Angels. Bob Boone singled and scored after Grich's homer in the 4th. He singled and later on came around on a double by Pettis to score the 2nd run for the California Ball Club. Boone is 1 for 2. Ball 1. Seaver has walked 5 and struck out 3. But those walks to Reggie Jackson were almost gimmies. One ball, 1 strike. Little piece of paper on the fly. One ball, 1 strike. It's a corner cutter, and it's 1-2. One out, nobody on in the 6th inning. Angels leading 2-0. Drilled to left field, down the line, base hit. And toward the foul pole. It'll be a double for Bob Boone. His 2nd hit pulls a double to left field. That's the 7th hit for California.
Tom couldn't get that 2nd pitch right where he had that other one, where he had Boone a little bit of a puzzlement on that outside corner. Boone just reaches out just inside that line down the left field way. And in this ballpark, as you notice, the corner men have to be a little careful going in there. There is no corner there. It's actually just a curve. Prevent that ball from getting by an outfielder. They have to kind of go in there softly.
Now it's Dick Schofield. 3 for 3 yesterday, 1 for 1 today. And bluffs the butt, takes the ball. Actually, he's not. Well, he has 1 out. He struck out in the 2nd, but he reached first on a wild pitch. Then he singled and was out trying to stretch it to a double in the 4th. Foul back here. Double action in the bullpen for Boston now. Left-hander Tim Lawler and right-hander Sammy Stewart. The breaking ball for a strike. A ball and 2 strikes to Schofield. Bob Boone at second base, and there's 1 out. Backhanded. 2-2. Schofield the batter with Pettis on deck. To third and box. He'll look Boone back. There are 2 outs.
Center fielder.
With 2 away and Boone at second base. Jerry Pettis coming up. And Pettis in this game has walked and doubled. Walked in the second inning. Double to right center, a ground rule double in the 4th that drove in a run. Out of play, strike 1. Seaver looking for another sign or 2 from Gedman. Missing high and tight for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out. And the pickoff attempt. They would have had it maybe had not the ball gotten away, been knocked out of the hand of Barrett. Boone being almost hoist on his own petard. He's got back to second base little bit late. But the ball here, they had him, the ball getting out of the glove of Marty Barrett. So Boone is alive. That was a good move. Plenty of daylight there. Barrett coming over. It is lined softly past short. Boone gets the go, and here comes Rice's throw. He is going to be out at home. Jim Rice fires on the fly to Gedman to knock down Bob Boone, trying to score on the off-field single by Pettis. Nice play, nice throw by Rice, right at Gedman, and Boone is gone. So no runs and 1 left, and after 6, Angels lead 2-0.
Louder, Tommy. We can barely hear you.
I can't hear him at all.
What? Still can't hear you.
I can't hear you, and I can't hear myself anymore. I haven't been able to hear Monty for a couple of innings.
Of who? Oh, yeah, okay.
Is he talking to me? I mean, am I
He's just talking to both of us. Tommy, we can just barely hear you.
I can't.
Sorry.
1, 2.
Michael Kisselman, Peter LeGue, and John Cook to security on the main level.
1, 2, 3. Now it's better. I boosted it up on this thing on the wire, not from the box, from the little cable. Yeah, I got you better now.
Center fielder, Tony Armas.
I can't see the monitor because it's on either. We go now to the 7th inning and take a look at the throw from Jim Rice, firing down into Gedman as Boone tries to pick up a little insurance run here, and he's dead in the water. An assist for Jim Rice. Here we go, Monty.
Tony Armas up in the Red Sox 7th, trailing 2-0. Maybe a little respect shown from catcher to catcher there. Booney had a chance to really put Gedman maybe where they sell the cheaper seats and chose not to. He's out by quite a margin. Armas 1 for 2 in the game. Excuse me, swing, fly ball out of play, right side. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Well, pitching has really been kind of the order today. 7 hits for the Red Sox, 8 for the Angels. Red Sox right now being shut out by Don Sutton. He's looking for his career 59th shutout. That'll trail Seaver's 61, who is the high mark of active pitchers in career shutouts. Armas right back up the middle. Oh, Tony, after that absence, being on the disabled list, comes right back in there for his first action. He's 2 for 3. More importantly, the Red Sox have a runner.
Gedman, catcher.
Is Tony getting back home quick on a kind of a hanging breaking pitch? He went right back past Sutton, who had no chance nor no desire to barehand it, really. Single for Armas, and Latchman, Marcel, this one, coming out from Malk, and they're going to go to the bullpen right now.
So the pitching change being made here by the Angels, with them leading 2-0. You're watching Red Sox baseball from the Big A in Anaheim. Oh, this is Finley, I think. This is Charles Finley, isn't it?
What's the number?
Is that Lucas or Finley?
What's the number on there?
36, it looks like.
36 is Lucas.
Coming in the bench for the Angels, number 36.
Sure. No way that guy's going to be in here. Oh, yeah, he is in here. How about that?
Lucas, yeah. Well, that's a pretty good afternoon from Mr. Sutton. Well, there's a man that's done an afternoon's work, Don Sutton, having left the game now, no chance to lose it. He can win it. And giving things over now to Gary Lucas. Tall left-hander, just rejoined the club. Had some arm problems, was down at AAA, came back, spun a good 4 innings the other day before the Red Sox came in. Lucas, appearing in his 3rd game, has no wins, no losses, no saves, a 1.93 earned run average. He's worked those 4 2/3 innings and given up 3 hits and 1 run, and struck out 3 during the time that he was in there. So he takes over for Sutton, who certainly covered himself well today.
Boy, did he ever. Nice bit of work for him. 8 hits through the 6+ innings of work. So far, no runs charged to him. Armas belongs to him at first. Lucas, a 6-year veteran in the big leagues, 4 of those with the Padres, a couple with the Expos. That's where the Angels got him just before Christmas time. Matter of fact, right after Christmas time, 2 days after. Mark playing the percentages here as he will go left-hander against Gedman. And right now it's an even count, 1-1. Sutton did not walk a Red Sox batter today, struck out 3. And it's a 1-2 count to Getty. Boy, that ball just split that outside corner there. Lucas last year with Montreal, 6 wins, 2 losses. He was in 49 games, all as a reliever, had 1 save. And Gedman will be down on strikes. Little knees and elbows and a lot of a thin body working on that last delivery to Gedman.
Here it is, and kept sliding across that plate area and out of the strike zone, swung on for strike 3.
So Lucas, as relievers are expected to do, retire the first hitter they face. That's one down now. Armas at first, and here's Ray Quinones. Bounced it foul third base way. Quinones 1 for 2. He's had a long double to center field over the outstretched glove of Gary Pettis. Then on the perfect relay play, Pettis to Grich to Sensei, they retired Quinones, trying to stretch the double into 3. That happened back in the 5th inning. Lucas is from the Southern California area, actually born in Riverside, grew up in Escondido. 31 years old. Bounced foul once again by Quinones, and he's down in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. And he's gone on strikes. Lucas seemed to take a little bit off of that one and just dropped it off the plate inside. Quinones went for it and couldn't get it. And that's out number 2. Quinones tried to clear out of there to reach that one. Nothing happening. So before Marty Barrett got ready to step in, he went down to have a word with Latchman, who is now not only the third base coach, but the acting Red Sox manager in this game with the ejection of John McNamara back in the 4th inning. Marty on the day 1 for 3. Red Sox need some base runners. They trail 2-0. And Lucas just cutting up that inside and outside corner. 0-1 to Barrett. Lucas throughout his big league career has been a reliever. All of his minor league, or a great deal of his minor league outings as a starter. Had 57 appearances for San Diego back in 1981. Had some pretty good saving years in there too, although 1982 he worked to a 1-10 record for the Padres. He did save 16 games for him and a fairly good earned run average at 3.24. Was in 65 games. Following year, 83, he saved 17 games, was 5-8. Barrett foul down the third base line. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. .6'6", 200-pounder. The shot here, it's striking out the side since coming on. He has retired Gedman, and Quinones on strikes. A 2-2 count here to Barrett. Bouncing ball right side. Grich to Schofield. The force on Armas works at second, and the Red Sox are retired in the 7th. No runs on a hit. They leave one, and a good job by Lucas as he come in to pick up Don Sutton. We played 6.5. California leads Boston 2-0. Stewart. Stewart's a new pitcher, Tommy.
There she is. Sammy Stewart making his first appearance since the 8th of June in Milwaukee when he tried to come back from that forearm injury he suffered in late May and in Minneapolis. Went 2 1/3 innings in that game, and then he put on the disabled list from June 10th to July 14th. Sammy Stewart coming on the year. Impressive figures. Has made 10 appearances, 3 wins, 1 loss, no saves, and a 1.71 earned run average in those 10 appearances. 26 1/3 innings pitched, 21 hits, 5 earned runs, just 1 homer. And he had 16 walks and 22 strikeouts.
So both starters today worked 6 innings. They're kissing bye to Mr. Sutton, I would imagine. Stewart to face the top of the Angel order here in the 7th inning. California leading 2-0. Jones 1 for 3 in the day. He has doubled, and he has struck out twice. His last time in the 4th inning, struck out into a double play. Off-speed pitch for Sammy. Says the arm feels pretty good. Actually, the problem with him was a little bit below the elbow rather than right in that joint. His concern, and the reason he made the trip to Los Angeles to see Dr. Yoakum, was his concern that there might be some bone chips causing some of the muscle aggravation. Apparently that proved to be negative as x-rays were taken of, I guess, every possible angle they could get his elbow in to see if there were any chips in there. 2-1. And it's 2-2 now as Stewart pours it over. One disappointed man in this ballpark today would be Mr. Charles Seaver, the father of Tom Seaver, who was in the clubhouse earlier today. Boy, I have a nice time talking with him. Of course, he's been around the golf business for a long, long time. Quite not only a good player, but one of the highly respected teachers here in the California section, northern section of California. That pitch is too low to Jones, and the count is full, 3-2. Tom Seaver today goes 6 innings, gives up 8 hits, 2 runs. He walked 5. Actually, you might call just 2 walks, 3 of them pretty much intentional, unintentional to Reggie Jackson. Seaver struck out 3. He gave up 1 home run, that to Bobby Grich. He cannot be involved as far as a winner is concerned. On the other hand, Sutton can. And Rupert Jones has gone on strikes. He's just taken that 3-2 count all the way. And the first man that Stewart faces in quite a while is out on strikes. First baseman Wally Joyner, the hitter. Joyner 1 for 2. He's drawn a walk. Ed mentioned earlier this Red Sox ball club, as well as the Angels, on an airplane after today's game. They will be headed to other ballparks. Right to the right side, knocked down by Barrett. He'll have to hurry. Gets him. And Joyner jumped about 4 feet in the air. Boy, was that ball hit hard. Marty may feel that one for a while, even tomorrow.
Well, it's a nice recovery by Barrett. Joyner cracks it hard down to second. There it is off the glove, the arm of Barrett. Knows he has to beat Joyner, who can run, with this throw. Awfully close at first base. And the ball looked like he was safe. Actually.
Had a reason to jump as he got across that bag. Oh, nonetheless, good play by Barrett to stay with that ball because it was really, really kissed by Joyner. 2 down. Here's DeCinces. Ball low, dug out by Gedman, 1-0. While the Angels will be moving up the coast, the Red Sox will be moving to the Midwest. They'll send Nipper against Floyd Bannister tomorrow night in Chicago. DeCinces and Stewart one-time teammates at Baltimore. I don't know if that carrying a bearing here.
I don't think that ball was in as much as the swerve of DeCinces made it look. He just made it a little dramatic as he went down.
Well, that's what happens when you dive out over that plate. That ball seems like it's a lot closer to you. You're actually going out to meet it a little bit. You're right. It wasn't as close as he made it look. 2-0. And now 3-0 as Stewart misses. The remainder of that series in Chicago on Tuesday, Jeff Sellers will work against Joe Cowley. And in Roger Clemens against Neil Allen on Wednesday as the Red Sox wrap up this road trip. There's the strike over, and it's 3-1 to the Angel third baseman. There's ball 4 and a beauty. One big bounce and up on the screen. So that'll stop the play on that. It allowed DeCinces just to go to first, even if he wanted to go farther. So first base is not open for Reggie Jackson for the first time this afternoon. DeCinces is there with the 2-out walk. Reggie unofficially or officially has not been to the plate. Takes the high rider up and inside, ball 1. Sammy having to figure out a thing now to get that arm to work for him, even if there's a little tenderness in there. Oh, what a swing by Reggie there. That may have been one of those that he'd already made his mind up on.
Ball a downer. Right on through with it.
And it's 2-2 as Stewart comes back with a tough pitch there. Well, when you're in Jackson's shoes, you haven't had a chance to really swing the bat at all today. The only strike on him previous to that one was a check swing. As strike 3, they got him. So Reggie on his 4th at bat finally is retired. He'll go away looking at a strike 3. Well, the Angels do not score in the 7th. They leave a man. And after 7 full innings of play, California 2 and Boston nothing. For third. Gonna make him a big check there. but then I can't hear myself. I think it only gets a lot of crowd noise.
Yeah. Yes. Well, it's so much noise out here now. Try it again. Yeah, that was better.
Well, obviously, Ned, the Red Sox need a little late inning heroics here to get back even with these Angels, not only in the season series, but make that plane ride just a little softer going across from Ontario this afternoon to O'Hare to Chicago.
Yeah, I think it'd be kind of nice to have a roisterous plane ride. They need 3. They need 2 get back in this thing to tie it up. They're down 2-0, and Wade Boggs is first up. Boggs 0 for 3 against Gary Lucas. Bluffs the bunt, runs up, takes a ball. Boggs right now at 352. That's his average on his 0 for 3 afternoon. Dropped 3 points. Looking at a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 runs and 8 hits for the Angels. No runs and 8 hits for Boston. Picks up the outside corner. 1-2. And comes over the top and misses outside. Ball 2. 2-2. An awful lot of unloading to be done by a fellow of the build of Gary Lucas to get the pitch away from him and toward the plate. 3-2. Came on after the lead single by Armas in the 7th and struck out the first 2 batters he faced, Gedman and Quinones. Got Barrett on a ground ball, fielder's choice. Boggs fouling it off. Count hangs at 3-2. Well, in their last 2 innings, why they have the people up that they want to, certainly, as you go down the lineup. Boggs, Buckner, and Rice, first 3 up this inning. Just fouling it off and hanging in with a 3-2 count. Got a piece of the plate umpire, McClellan. The overload on Boggs to the left side, and he fouls it off the end of the bat into the photographer's sling, or kind of a half railing over there by the third base dugout. It's a 3-ball, 2-strike count. Big sun-splashed crowd of 61,559, the largest of the year. Ball 4. The Red Sox have a lead man on in the 8th. First walk given up by Angel pitching this afternoon. Sutton did not walk any in the 6 innings he worked. Bill Buckner's had a 2 for 3 afternoon. 2 doubles down the right field line. His foul ball, actually with a good catch by Wally Joyner, picked the ball out of the front row down along the first baseline amidst a lot of hands and hamburgers and everything else, but he held on to the baseball. Watches it drop over for strike 1. Red Sox have had base runners in every inning. At least 1. Wide swing and a wide pitch. And 0-2 the count to Buckner. They did have 1 3-man inning, but that was led off by Quinones, who doubled to center and then was thrown out trying to stretch it to a triple. The next 2 batters, Barrett and Boggs, went out. But for just a brief shining moment, Quinones was on the bases. 0-2 to Buckner. Reaches, lofts it to left center field. Downing over. Bryan with the ball, and there's one out. So Buckner's gone, and Rice is on. Jim Rice 1 for 3 afternoon. He singled his last time up. That was in the 6th. Now Marcel Latchman out again. Donnie Moore down in the bullpen, right?
That's who it looked like it was when he originally got up.
They're going to put him in there again.
We're going to find out soon enough.
They're going to play right, left, left, right, right, with Rice up there to be followed by Greenwell. And Greenwell's a left-handed pitcher, batter, but of course, the difference, he's followed by Evans and Armas. So that will be all for Gary Lucas. He pitches 1 1/3 innings and strikes out 2 and gives up 1 walk. He's responsible for a runner. You're watching Red Sox baseball from Anaheim.
Your attention, please. Coming in the bench for the Angels, number 37, Donnie Moore.
Showing the addition of Moore to that mock bullpen has made a difference as far as Gene is concerned. Appearance number 22 for the right-hander. 1 in 3 with 9 saves. Giving a little more flexibility there.
Second appearance in this series, facing Jim Rice now and throwing outside ball 1. Red Sox trailing 2-0. They have Boggs at first base with 1 out in the 8th inning. Rice 1 for 3. That's toward the hole and into left field. Base hit for Jim Rice. 2 on, 1 out. Rice is now 2 for 4 as he strokes it neatly into the shortstop hole and into left. 9th hit for Boston. So Moore gives up a hit to the first man he faces. And now Mike Greenwell will appear for his second turn at bat since coming on to the game, becoming the designated hitter after Don Baylor was run by Tim McClellan, the plate umpire, in the 4th inning. Baylor and John McNamara both ejected from the game at that time. Ball 1. Game being played under protest by, ironically, the California Angels, who were leading at the time and who lead right now. Technicality as to the DH and the announcement of same when Baylor left. Ball gets behind Boone. Wait a minute. Now Bryce is held up, caught up between first and second. They'll throw the third and get Boggs. And foul up on the bases by the Red Sox, and they cut down a runner at third base. A short pass ball type of thing. Boone pounced on it. Boggs got hung up between first and second. They took a shot there, and then Joyner fired over to third to get Boggs.
Rice goes crashing in on top of Boggs, who had taken one half step, then stopped at second because he found the ball quick enough. So Booney says, I'll just go. We got Rice trapped. He heads for second. That forces Boggs to go to third. Joyner goes right there with him, and a perfect throw. They retire Wade.
There's a soft fly ball down the left field line. Long run for Downing. He's got it. Fair ball catch by Brian Downing, and very quickly this threat goes by the boards. Red Sox do not score, and after 7.5, California leads 2-0.
Well, you ain't going to win games.
Be all right in about 3 more weeks. What is 3 more weeks? 3 more weeks is nothing. It'll be longer than that, huh?
Yeah, 3 more weeks.
So we set for the bottom of the 8th inning. The Angels leading by a score of 2-0. The Red Sox again having a runner cut down, and again at third base. Had 2 of them cut down at that bag. 1 of them at the start of an inning and 1 at the end. Brian Downing. 2 fielders' choices and a 5-4-3 double play. Boggs making the original play on all 3 ground balls. Sammy Stewart into his 2nd inning of relief. Faced 4 batters in the 7th. Struck out 2 of them. Walked 1. Fly ball, maybe trouble into left field. Rice over, can't get to it. Pen opening. Downing headed for third. The ball gets over the cutoff man. And into third base with a triple is Brian Downing. Downing seeing the ball take that big hop past the diving glove of Jim Rice, who had to chase it around the corner.
Almost turned into what would be an AstroTurf bounce. Rice gets caught up as he's shagging it hard, tries to catch it, and has that big bounce go over his head. And rather than having it go up into the seats, which you would expect it maybe to do normally, hits the pads, cams around. Long chase for Rice. And it's a 3-bagger for Mr. Downing. There's that big bounce.
Downing at third with nobody out now in the 8th inning, and the Red Sox bring the infield in. The batter is Bobby Grich. Infield in all the way around. Strike 1. Grich has hit a home run in 3 times up. His 2nd homer in 2 days. And they check out with umpire Young at first base. It's a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now Sammy Stewart really has to bow his back and pitch out of this thing. Strike on the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, the absence of this man has made a lot of difference to John McNamara and his ball club, what he's been able to do, and what he's been able not to do with that bullpen, and his starters on a lot of occasions. They need him back, and they need him strong.
Just misses inside, ball 2, 2-2.
What Sammy has to deal with now is building confidence back up once again and throwing the baseball, and if there is a little bit of pain there, knowing that it's not going to hurt anything else. A little pain maybe is going to be there for a while.
There's strike 3, a breaking pitch. Rich had a notion, held back, and it cost him. It's on the corner. And Stewart has his third strikeout.
The curveball, or the breaking ball, I should say. That one is the curve there. Seemed to be very effective. Today he's had it biting right at an outside corner and then running out of there.
Bob Boone is the batter. Ball, strike one. Strike call by McClellan. Well, that was one strikeout that Sammy needed. He needs another one right here, or a pop-up.
Boy, don't be surprised if you may see anything at all happen. Boone up there, Downing at third.
Slicing a foul out of play. Strike two now. Boone has had a single and a double in 3 trips this afternoon.
Well, it's important. You see now Boone, he's looking down at third base coach Mooch Tubing. The count's no balls and 2 strikes. Say, what in the world could he be looking for? Well, with Mark as a manager, he could be looking for anything. You better back out and look.
Drives it to right center field. Evans over, makes the catch, but it will get the run home. 3-0. Bob Boone does his job. Boy, he's been doing his job in this series of advancing runners, of getting the runner home in this case, as he picks up his 22nd RBI and an insurance run for the Angels.
And what he's done in his last 2 at-bats, he's taken a 1-2 count, turned it into a base hit to left field. That turned into a double, actually. He's taken an 0-2 count here at this at-bat in the 8th and turned it into a line drive sacrifice fly.
Here's Schofield. He has struck out, but lived on it. Singled and then grounded out. Count on him. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now that makes it just that much more difficult. 2-run or 3-run game so much different from a 2-run job. Soft curve for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Two and 2. The Red Sox in their 9th inning will have Evans, Armas, and Gedman scheduled up against Donnie Moore. Fly ball, right field. Evans back. That's the inning, but they get a big run. And after 8, the Angels lead 3-0.
We have a total of 6. No, I'm just going to do it right now, Tommy. Let's see. Well, you want Gritch, the homer highlight? All right, I'll give you Gritch. I'll make it easy for you, kid. Huh? Well, it's either got to be Gritch or Sutton.
Sutton or Boone.
Or Boone. Which one you like? Which one thrilled you with his performance?
Which one is easy? Oh, that.
Well, give her the player of the game award.
That's all right. What's her name?
Jelly Belly. Give it to Gritch.
Going to the last call for the Boston Red Sox as they come up against Donnie Moore in the 9th, trailing 3-0. They have been held at bay by Angel pitching for the last 2 days. And they need 3 to keep in this thing and keep it alive, as Evans, Armas, and Gedman will be up.
Right fielder, Dwight Evans.
Dwight Evans, 1 for 3, singled in the 2nd inning. Hit the ball hard his last time up, lining to third. Foul, out of play, strike one. Red Sox have had men on in every inning. They've stranded 8. They've had runners cut down in the bases. And again, up until now at least, wasted another pretty good pitching performance by Tom Seaver. 1-2. Evans spikes it foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Dwight. Hits are even in the game, 9 apiece. There's been 1 home run, Bobby Grich. Missing outside. The count evens 2-2. Gary Pettis 2 steps over toward right center on Evans. The gap, if any, is in left center field. Evans towards shortstop, and Schofield in a hurry. 1 out.
Center fielder Tony Armas.
Tony Armas has had a 2 for 3 afternoon. Singled in the 4th and again in the 7th. Flied out his first time up, marking his comeback after being on the disabled list. His average currently at 281. It's the highest he's been. Strike 1. Came in at 275. And a strike. We'll pause for a station break on the TV 38 Red Sox network. Back the pitch to Armas, and he cuts it, fouls it at the plate. The count remains 0-2 to Tony. California leading 3-0, top of the 9th. Strike 3, and there's a first strikeout for Moore as Armas goes down. 2 down.
Moore not really the overpowering type pitcher since the arm injury. He'll give you a little bit of this, a little bit of that. That was a little bit of this on that one. Took a little off, had that ball tailed down and possibly out of the strike zone to Armas.
Here's Rich Gedman with 2 out. Strike 1.
Mark left me with kind of a funny look and a statement this morning when I left his dugout after talking to him.
0-2.
I said this could be maybe a rematch at the end of the year, and he looked at me and said, I hope you're right. Now, I don't know what he meant by that. Did he feel like he had an edge over this Boston club? Possibly. Or maybe he just likes the close competition.
Gedman strikes out to end the game, and the Red Sox are shut out. 1, 2, 3. They go for the first time in a pure inning in a ball game, as they are no match for Donnie Moore in the 9th inning. The final score, California 3 and Boston 0. We'll wrap it up in a moment.